What if I told you that your greatest pain holds the key to unlocking a life-changing realization? What if every tear, every heartache, was a gift in disguise? Yousuf didn't believe it either, until one night changed everything. Yousuf stared blankly at the cracked ceiling of his tiny apartment. The dim light bulb flickered, mirroring the turmoil in his heart. Life had not been kind to him recently. A series of rejections, from a dream job to a relationship he thought would last forever, had left him questioning his worth. Even the mirror seemed to mock him as he traced the thinning hair on his head. "Is this all I'm meant to be?" he whispered into the empty room. The world outside was bustling with life, but inside Yousuf felt paralyzed. His thoughts spiraled downward as memories of better times haunted him. He remembered his childhood when his parents lovingly chose his name. Yousuf, his mother would say, "A name with honor and beauty. This is who you are." But now, he couldn't reconcile the meaning of his name with the man he had become. One cold evening, as Yousuf scrolled through his phone aimlessly, he came across an old family photo. His younger self, full of joy, hair neatly combed, a wide grin, stood proudly between his parents. Where did that Yousuf go? He wondered. The question lingered, gnawing at him. Feeling a sudden urge to escape, he grabbed his coat and stepped into the chilly night air. The streets were quiet, save for the rustle of leaves and distant hum of traffic. Yousuf wandered aimlessly until he found himself in front of a masjid he hadn't visited in years. The faint sound of Quranic recitation drew him closer. Hesitating for a moment, he stepped inside, the warmth of the mosque enveloping him like a long-lost embrace. An elderly man sat in the corner, his fingers gliding over prayer beads. Yousuf hesitated before approaching. "Peace be upon you," he greeted softly. The man looked up, his eyes kind and understanding. "And peace be upon you as well, son. You seem troubled." Yousuf poured his heart out, his failures, insecurities, and the weight of feeling invisible. The man listened patiently before asking, "Do you know the story of Prophet Yousuf?" Yousuf nodded faintly. "Yes, but not in detail." The man's eyes lit up. Prophet Yousuf faced betrayal by his own brothers, was thrown into a well, sold as a slave, and imprisoned unjustly. Yet, through every trial he remained steadfast. Why? Because he trusted Allah's plan. And in the end, he became a ruler, reuniting with his family and fulfilling his destiny. Yousuf listened intently, the weight on his heart lifting slightly. "But how does that help me?" he asked. The man smiled. "Like Prophet Yousuf, your name is a reminder. It's not just a label, it's a reflection of resilience and faith. Allah chose it for a reason." That night, Yousuf went home and opened the Quran for the first time in years. As he read the story of Prophet Yousuf, he felt an inexplicable connection. The trials mirrored his own struggles, but the unwavering faith of the Prophet inspired him. Over the next few weeks, Yousuf began to shift his perspective. He stopped seeing his thinning hair as a flaw and started viewing it as a sign of wisdom earned through experience. He began practicing gratitude, listing 3 things he was thankful for each day. "For my health, for my shelter, for another chance to try." Yousuf also started reconnecting with old friends and mending relationships he had neglected. One evening, a childhood friend remarked, "You've changed, Yousuf. There's a peace about you now." He smiled, realizing it was true. But the real transformation came one night during Tahajjud. As Yousuf prostrated, tears streamed down his face. "Ya Allah," he pleaded, "guide me to find purpose in my pain." In that moment, he felt a profound sense of peace. It wasn't that his problems had disappeared, but he no longer felt burdened by them. The next day, Yousuf visited the elderly man at the mosque. "I finally understand," he said. "The trials I faced weren't meant to break me. They were meant to shape me." The man nodded. "Exactly. And now it's your turn to inspire others." Inspired, Yousuf decided to volunteer at a local community center, sharing his story with young people struggling with self-esteem and identity. His words resonated deeply because they came from a place of authenticity and faith. Months later, Yousuf stood in front of a mirror. The reflection staring back wasn't perfect, but it was whole. "I am Yousuf," he said aloud, "and I am exactly who Allah meant me to be." As Yousuf continued his journey, he began documenting his reflections in a journal. One day, he wrote, "Every scar tells a story, and mine tell of resilience." He also started noticing beauty in the small things, the golden hue of sunrise, the laughter of children playing in the street, and the calming rustle of leaves in the wind. Yousuf found himself mentoring others, not as someone with all the answers, but as someone who understood. Your pain has a purpose, he would tell them. It's shaping you into who you're meant to be. On the anniversary of his transformation, Yousuf visited the elderly man again. You've become the Yousuf your parents dreamed of, the man said. Yousuf smiled, his heart swelling with gratitude. It's all because Allah never abandoned me. Dear viewer, like Yousuf, your pain is not a punishment but a part of your unique journey. Remember, Allah has chosen you for a reason. Embrace your name, your story, and your struggles as gifts. Reflect on the blessings you often overlook and trust in Allah's plan for you. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it today. And never forget, your greatest test could be your greatest blessing in disguise.